Armenia, how the oldest of nations got its legendary name. Welcome to the Armenian Network, your source for Armenian news and events all over the world in English. Today, we will talk about an intriguing story that will interest all Armenians. Have you ever wondered where the word Armenia actually comes from? Well, in this video, we'll be taking a look at the origins of the word Armenia and just how it came to represent the heritage of millions of people around the world. The legendary origins of the name. First of all, here's an interesting fact about Armenians. Most of us don't actually call ourselves Armenians. We prefer to call each other Hai, and our country of origin Hayastan, after our patron hero. According to folklore, Armenians are the descendants of a man whose power was more that of a god than of a man. Legend has it that Armenians are the descendants of Haik, the son of Togorma, who was the son of Japhet, one of Noah's 4 sons. Haik lived in the plains of Shinar and held the title of a prefect. In this position, he was also assigned as one of the directors in charge of building the Tower of Babel. Tall and strong like a giant, Haik's physical gifts enabled him to rule firmly and fairly over his people. It is written that the patron god of Babylon, Bel, who historians believe to have been King Nimrod, desired to have total dominion over the region, which Haik refused. Rounding up his 300 sons, his daughters, and his livestock, Haik traveled north until he entered the land of Ararat and settled there. When Bel found out that his rival had moved north, he persuaded him to return back to his lands. According to legendary manuscripts, the Assyrian god was so distraught that he sang his persuasions. "Thou hast departed and hast settled in chill and frosty regions. Soften thy hard pride and change thy coldness to geniality. Be my subject and come and live a life of ease in my domain." Haik, proud and bold, refused to heed Bel's demands. Bel was so angered by this that he decided to rally an army to capture the Armenian hero and bend him into submission. But Haik successfully defeated Bel in battle and ended up slaying him with an arrow from Bel's very own artillery. After his death, Bel's body was buried in a historic place known as Keresman, which means grave, and you can still explore it to this very day. In fact, Armenian myths, songs, and stories still sing praises of how brave and powerful Haik was. The legend also claims that Haik went on to live a very prosperous life, dying around 2028 BC at the ripe old age of 400. For the Armenian culture, this piece of history is of great pride and importance because it communicates how their patron hero refused to embrace the will of Bel and instead stood his ground to preserve his independence, for no quality is more dear to the Armenian people than remaining firm in the face of oppression and stigmatization. As for the name Armenia, it is believed to have been derived from the name Aram or Armenak, who was the great-grandson of Haik. While there is no historical proof of Aram's lineage to Haik, Aram is believed to have been groomed into a prestigious leader who greatly contributed to the growth of the Armenian kingdom and culture. Now, I know you're wondering, why isn't the history of Haik well known outside Armenia, or away from tightly knit Armenian communities? Well, there's a good reason for this. You see, Armenia was the first nation to be converted to Christianity about 300 CE. Despite their initial resistance, Armenians finally heeded when the Arsacid king, Tiridates III, was converted to Christianity by Saint Gregory the Illuminator. Shortly after, the Armenian Church was born. Although, to be fair, conversion was made much easier thanks to a powerful king commanding an army that had learned the art of war from the Romans. Indeed, Christianity, and later an Islamic invasion by the Ottoman Turks, had a negative effect on traditional Armenian culture. For example, many of the songs that were regularly sung in honor of Haik have fizzled away, unless perhaps in remote villages where ancient Armenian culture and heritage is still preserved. That being said, most Armenians proudly consider themselves the descendants of Haik and continue to call themselves Hayastans in remembrance of their folk hero. The Bronze Age history of the name. At the height of the Bronze Age, several states flourished in Greater Armenia, including the Hittite Empire, Mitanni, and Hayasa-Azi. Then soon after Hayasa-Azi came the Nairi Tribal Confederation, and lastly, the Kingdom of Urartu, which managed to successfully establish sovereignty for centuries in the Armenian highlands. Each of these nations played a pivotal role in contributing to the ethnic pool of today's modern Armenian people. The Kingdom of Urartu also aided in the construction of Yerevan, the modern capital of Armenia. The city's origins date back to the 8th century BC, when the fortress of Erubuni was founded by King Argishti I in the far west of the Ararat Plain. According to reports, the first mentions of the Armenian name in Bronze Age history were through the kingdoms of Armi and Arme. However, it's important to note that these two kingdoms were probably not the same because there's no historical evidence to determine what languages were spoken in the kingdoms at that time. There is a general agreement among historians, however, that Arme was located towards the west of Lake Van, which encompasses most of present-day Armenia. On the other hand, there is a lot of contention about where the Kingdom of Armi was located, with most researchers estimating that Armi was probably located near the same area as Arme, around present-day Samsat. Armenia in the Iron Age. While the exact date is unknown, historians believe that the word Armenia was absorbed into the English language via Latin from ancient Greece. In fact, according to major historical records, the name Armenia can be traced back to the 6th century BC. It is believed that Darius I, the great king of Persia, was the first in history recorded to mention the word Urashtu in Babylonian. According to Behistun inscription writings, this is believed to be the name of the nation of Armenia in the Old Persian language. Records also discuss Darius mentioning Armenia in the Elamite language. A historical review of the Greek language also shows that the word Armenia was found in nearly the same time period, and perhaps even as early as 476 BC, referenced by historian Hecataeus of Miletus. Another historian and Greek mercenary by the name of Xenophon further talks about several features of his expeditions to Armenia in his writings, where he discusses village life and how hospitable the people in the region were around 400 BC. And lastly, written works from Herodotus around 440 BC also discuss how Armenians were just as equipped as Phrygians, who were ancient Indo-European speaking people related to the Greeks at the time. The growth of the name through the Middle Ages. According to writings from Moses Horenatsi, a well-renowned and celebrated Armenian historian that lived around 410 AD, the word Armenia was derived from Haik, the Armenia Patrica who defeated the Babylonian king Belen in 2492 BC. After his successful campaign, Haik supposedly founded the Armenian state on Mount Ararat. Despite Mount Ararat being situated in modern Turkey today, it was once a part of Armenia. It boasts the highest point of elevation in the region, and Armenians still consider it a monumental symbol of their country and heritage. This is the reason why the mountain is part of the country's national emblem. Moreover, The name Arman or Armin is a masculine name given to boys, while the name Armine is the feminine version given to girls. These two names are the most common ones in the Republic of Armenia and pay homage to Haik, Armenia's founding father. Today, the name Armenia is largely tied to the Armenian diaspora and the Republic of Armenia. Despite facing ethnic clashes with the Turks, the Armenian genocide, and absorption into the Soviet Union, the Armenian nation has continued to stand strong in the face of tribulation, just as their ancestor Haik once did. Several Armenians have managed to successfully secure powerful social, financial, and economic positions while proudly waving the Armenian flag, and they continue to make us proud. That being said, we would like to thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell to get more enlightening content on the history of Armenians and Armenia. Until then, stay safe and stay informed.